I spent 13 years making every money mistake in the book. Bad credit, multiple debts, retrying over and over again. And it wasn't until I hit $100,000 in debt that I finally stopped lying to myself and actually did something about it. 3 years later, it was entirely gone. So today I wanted to answer the question that has absolutely never been asked of me, but I wanted to make this video. If I woke up tomorrow and I was back in debt, what would I actually do? And I'm going to tell you exactly what I do in order with no fluff. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Kevin. The short version of my story is I paid off $100,000 of debt in 3 years without becoming a total hermit. And this is the playbook that I wish I had when I started. Let's go. Step one is get to the ground floor. Okay, so the first thing I'd do if I was in debt is nothing. Wait, I know how ridiculous that sounds. What I mean is, before I move a single dollar, before I Google like, how do I get out of debt fast? Before I do anything, I sit down and I figure out where every single dollar is actually going. And it shouldn't be what I think is happening with my money. It's what's actually happening with my money. I'd build a spreadsheet that has my entire income and my expenses on it. Everything from my rent or mortgage, my subscriptions that I forgot I had, that app that I downloaded that I used once and forgot about, all of it. If there is a line item on my credit card or debit card statement, it's getting a line item in my spreadsheet. Laying all of it out one by one, it really opened my eyes to how much money I was wasting on things I didn't care about. It's crucially important to write it all out one by one. Your eyes will come out of your head when you realize what you're spending on. And I know what you're thinking, but KG, it's 2026. Can't an app just do all of this for me? Chill, Chelsea. The answer is 100%. Yeah, you could. But I would still, to this day, build it entirely myself. And here's why. When you build it, you can't look away from it. The app that you download, it just shows you a pretty chart and lets you feel okay about where your money is going. A spreadsheet that you build yourself is very confrontational. It's confrontational in a good way. You're holding a mirror to yourself and it's 1,000% custom to you. But if you really don't want to build one from scratch and you have at least a small understanding of spreadsheets, I have a free one down in the description. If you want to skip the setup, go ahead and grab that. But the point of step one is simple. You cannot solve a problem you haven't actually looked at. Most people in debt are operating on pure emotions. You need the numbers. Emotions are gonna lie to you. The numbers aren't gonna lie to you. Step two is I would build the debt map. What I mean by that is once I know my actual cash flow, like money in and money out, I'd do one thing. I'd write down every single debt that I have. All of them, every single one. For each one, I would ask, what do I owe? What is the interest rate? Is this my biggest debt or my highest interest one? And then I'd start paying the smallest one first. I know it may feel like maybe a natural instinct to go after maybe the biggest one that hurts you the most, but no, the smallest. The reason why is because I need a win and I want it now. Debt payoff is a very long game. And if you go 6 months without feeling like anything is happening, I'm gonna quit. I know because I've quit multiple times before, and I would continue to quit until I felt that I can figure things out. A small win first builds momentum, and momentum is everything. Before going all in on my debt, I would just make the minimum payments to the debt, thinking that I was doing well. I mean, to the credit bureau, it looked good because my credit score was doing okay despite being in massive amounts of debt because I was making those minimum payments every single month. But once I listed out all of my debts, I knew exactly which ones I could just quickly chip away at. And those little tiny wins helped me mentally and emotionally. Step 2.5, the line of credit trick that I wish I had. Okay, so this one is, again, something that I wish someone had told me way earlier in my debt journey. And if I was in debt again, one of the first things I do is apply for a line of credit. The reason why is because instead of paying 5 different debts and 5 different dates at 5 different interest rates, some of which are brutal, I could use that line of credit, or LOC if you're nasty, to consolidate everything into one payment. And it's at a much lower rate. Having it all as one debt and one payment is way easier to manage and way cheaper over time. Now, if your credit is already wrecked, you might get declined. That's okay. Keep applying. Banks want to give you money. Trust me. So most banks will most likely say no for now, but it's not forever. It's just like not yet. Start with the snowball method of paying off your debt from step 2 that we had talked about. Start small, gradually get bigger, improve your credit score, and try again in a few months. Also in the description down below, I have a free debt completion predictor. You plug in your numbers and it tells you when you'll finish paying off that debt. It's going to be one of those tools that either terrifies you or motivates you. Either way, you need to know. I did eventually get a line of credit, but pretty late in my debt journey. So if it took me 3 and a bit years, I would say I didn't apply for a line of credit until maybe 8 months before I finished my debt. And I wish I thought of it sooner, because for about 2.5 years, I paid each individual bank on different dates, and I had to manage it all, and my brain was fuming when I found out about line of credit. Step number 3 is you have to find extra money. After being a few months in debt and having a handle on things, I would start looking for ways to either spend less or make more. And quite frankly, I'd probably do both. Thing number 1, I'd look around my house and sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I am dead serious about this. Every time I've done this, I'm absolutely shocked by what people will buy. Like the one man's junk is another man's. Like, hey, I needed that. Thing number 2 is I'd start a small side thing. It doesn't have to be like fancy. It doesn't have to be a brand that you start. Like, you're not making Amazon 2. Just do something that brings in a few extra dollars every single month that goes entirely towards your debt. Even an extra $100 a month will shave off months, if not years, off of your debt timeline. This step number 3, will repeat a lot. And that's the point. You're building a habit of finding money, not just like a one-time fix. Again, look around your house, look around the room that you're in. Chances are there's something there that's been collecting dust for a while that you don't need. Take a picture of it, put a quick description on it, put it on Facebook Marketplace. You'd be surprised about how many people will show up at your door. Maybe search it as well. See if someone else is selling the same thing and just mark it down a little bit. It'll make your stuff stand out a little bit more as well. Side, like funny story. I remember one time I was selling a bike on Facebook Marketplace. I put it up for $100. A lady showed up to my door to purchase it for $100. She agreed to it, and she brought her young son. And I don't know if maybe she was just trying to like look cool in front of her son. She came up to me, looked at the bike, gave it a side eye, and said 90. And I looked at her and I'm like, I don't have $10 of change. I'm not a store. Do you have $90 exactly? And she looked at me and she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well then it's 100. And then she gave me the 100 and left with the bike. Be prepared to come across these stories if you start selling on Facebook Marketplace. Also, on the side business part of things, when I did have good momentum towards paying off my debt and I wanted to make a little bit more money, I had a passion for helping others with nutrition. I was a nutrition coach for a while. So I started to open up my book to customers. And once I got 5, 6, I think at one point I peaked at around 13 clients. When I was helping those clients, I would of course charge them, and every single dollar from that business went directly into debt. I'm no longer a nutrition coach. A part of it kind of did suck because again, it's income and you're really inclined to spend this money, but it felt really good to just clump it all and put it towards debt. And again, it shaved off a long time off of how long it would have taken me to pay off that debt. Quick pause before we get to the next step. If this is at all landing, please hit the like button. It helps YouTube recommend this to someone who might need it. And it costs you exactly $0, which if you're in debt is very much within your budget. Okay, 2 more steps. Step number 4, plan for the worst. Here's where most people, including myself, mess up their debt payoff. They go all in, which I did. Everything towards debt. And I had a zero savings buffer. And then life happens. Your car breaks down, your hours get cut at work, you have a pet emergency, or worse. Then, like, what seems out of nowhere, you're dipping into your credit cards again, and it feels like you're back at square one. So once I had a solid system going and a rough idea of when my payoff date was, I would start keeping a small emergency fund on the side. And nothing huge, at least not to start. Not like a 6-month fund right away. Even like $500 to $1,000 sitting somewhere separately changes your brain, I promise you. It's a buffer between you and the credit card when life decides to happen, and it will happen. The last thing you want after months of progress and hard work is one unexpected bill to send you all the way back to the starting line. Step number 5, document everything. This last one is the step that I didn't do, and I genuinely wish that I did. Document the journey, every milestone, every time you pay something off, every moment where you're genuinely proud of yourself and you smile for yourself. When I started paying off my debt, I seriously assumed that I was gonna fail again, like I had every single time before that. So I didn't keep track. I didn't celebrate the wins. I just kept moving and tried not to think about it. I think it was one of those things where if I just ignore it, maybe it'll go away, which is kind of backwards. You need to see how far you've come. And it's not because you want to live in the past, but because that rear view mirror keeps you going forward on a road that still looks very long. It's kind of like a weight loss journey where you forget to take that before photo. Don't be that person. Take the before photo. When I was at around maybe $10,000 left of my debt, that's when it hit me. I'm like, hey, I'm genuinely almost done this thing. I kind of wish I documented some of this, like getting the emails from my car dealership saying I was paying off my car. I did manage to save one, and I'll put a screenshot of it here when I paid off my student loans, and the email just said thanks. But I wish I celebrated more. And maybe if I took photos of the times that I paid off a debt. Yeah, document it, trust me. So the 5.5 steps I would follow if I were to start from scratch again today. Step 1 is know your actual numbers. Step 2, map your debts and attack the smallest one first. Step 2.5, if you can, look into a line of credit to consolidate all of it. Step number 3 is find extra money. Sell stuff or start something small. Step number 4, build a small emergency buffer before life tests you. And step number 5 is document it, every step. You don't need to be perfect. If you want some one-on-one help to put all of this together specifically for your situation, I do coaching. Link in the description, drop a comment. If you're on a debt journey, how far along are you? When are you gonna be done? Also, YouTube thinks that you'll like this video right here and this one. So pick one, and I'll see you next week.